verses 10 through 13. And immediately coming up from the water, Jesus saw the heavens parting and the Spirit descending upon him like a dove. Then a voice came from heaven saying, "You are my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." So here we have again, the Spirit of God is descending upon Jesus. We've got Jesus' heavenly Father interrupting the whole procedure saying, "You are my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." I want you guys to pay close attention to this because it's crucial. I want you to hear this very clearly. God the Father tells Jesus, "You are my beloved Son, and I am well pleased with you." You're my beloved Son. I'm letting everybody know that you are my beloved Son, and I'm well pleased with you. And then Mark's gospel goes on to say immediately the Spirit drove him into the wilderness, and he was there in the wilderness 40 days, tempted by Satan. God the Father interrupts the baptism, and he says, "You are my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." And then the very next thing that happens, in the blink of an eye, he sends him into the playground of Satan, out in the wilderness, to be tempted and tested and tried for 40 days. I guarantee you that was the most severest trial anyone had ever been through up to that point in time. His time on the cross, that Passion Week, I'm sure we can all agree, surpassed this time, but I have a hunch that this 40 days was probably the toughest trial that anybody would ever have to face. What an eye-opener for all of us. Look up on the screen. We've got, it says, God the Father, who was well pleased with his beloved Son Jesus, immediately sent him into a severe trial. And there is no one more deserving than Jesus to live a trial-free life. I mean, think about it. We often equate the trials of life with our disobedience. We often equate the trials of life with our lukewarmness. And yet we've got Jesus, the most passionate lover of God there is. The example of how to have a relationship with God is seen in Jesus, and we have him living a perfect, obedient life with God. He's already coming to die on the cross. What more does he have to do? And yet God says, "I love you, Son, and I am well pleased with you." And then he sends him straight to the devil to be tested and tried. Do you feel like God doesn't love you? Do you feel forsaken because of what's taken place in life? God sent his beloved Son into a 40-day trial immediately after saying, "I'm well pleased with him." What's my point? My point is this. Just because you are facing a trial right now, just because there's going to be some severe trial maybe a month from now or a year from now that comes your way, it doesn't mean that God doesn't love you. It doesn't mean that God isn't well pleased with you.